pacing was a lot better in this episode of One Piece. I mean, it was not as bad as last episode or episode before that. They did a lot of major reveals this episode, and some were more, I guess, awesome than others, and some were just downright obvious. So, let's get into the more obvious reveals, like Fujitora, for instance. I mean, anyone that did not see Fujitora being an admiral, I don't know. Have you skipped the opening song, which was really badass? Because, honestly, it was just revealed. They pretty much spoiled almost a lot of the cast members in the opening song, which I kind of disapprove. The opening song is good, but they really spoiled entire hype and different type of stuff like manga readers really got out of this arc. So, the Fujitora scene, when you see him put on his coat and mobilize the entire navy to surround the Coliseum and go set into action to protect all different sorts of civilians, was a really good scene, but it didn't have the impact it should have had in the anime. Now, I will say, one thing I did notice on Fujitora's character, and I respect quite a lot in this series, and I feel like he's one of my favorite admirals just from the little time he's been shown, is because if you noticed, he has almost the same distinctive scene Smoker had in the past. If we remember that, Smoker had an ice cream go on his foot when we first saw him introduced, but this girl trips and loses her balloon, and you see Fujitora grab her balloon and give it to the girl. You really see the compassion in Fujitora this episode. Like, he's not all around like one of those admirals that just don't care for the populace. They'll kill anyone off in their way to actually capture a pirate. You can clearly see the passion in Fujitora's face of how he really believes in justice. And that's what that entire scene I felt tried to emphasize. Besides the mysterious factor of how did he get the balloon from the air and give it to the little girl, I felt more of that scene actually betrayed a Fujitora's character and how he should be portrayed later on in this arc and in the series as a whole. So, moving past Fujitora, let's move over to Cavendish. We started off with Cavendish, and I have a lot to talk about him. The animation. I don't know if it was just me, but that animation on Cavendish was just so out of place. Now, I'm not saying this animation was terrible. I'm saying when you put animation like Cavendish, when you saw some up-close shots of his face, that looked like almost Shaft quality of animation, and then you have a crappy looking background. I'm like, oh my god, that is so freaking out of place. I mean, Cavendish literally just took up the beauty of the screen. I guess that emphasizes Cavendish's character, which I think is good, but at the same time, it was so weird seeing the way the animation was just so different in the background compared to his character. I mean, did you not see the shading on him? I mean, holy god, wow. So, Cavendish, we found out more about his character. We found out his personality, that he loves to be a publicity boy. He loves the news reporters. He wants to be known to everybody, and he hates people still in the spotlight. So, pretty much, that's his character personality in this episode, and I really actually love Cavendish. He's such a good character. So, moving on, let's talk about Burgess. Now, this one reveal this episode, I felt was done well and not well. So, what I'm getting at is, in the actual opening song, we don't really see Burgess. So, they did a good job there. They didn't spoil the Blackbeard Pirates' actual, I guess, relationship in this arc. We're actually had a really nice, good reveal that shocked probably a bunch of anime-only watchers. So, I was happy to see the scene. It had a good music song with it, but it wasn't as epic as it should have been. It should have been a lot better. The animation should have been focused on Burgess a little bit better, because this is actually one of the real major important roles that this episode should have revealed. Like Bellamy at the end of this episode. His reveal, once again, he was spoiled. Right in the opening song, I mean, if anyone didn't realize who Bellamy was, it was also obvious. So, it's upsetting to see how certain reveals that should have had so much impact were pretty much just destroyed for anime-only viewers. But, I will tell you, I still love these set of characters that are introduced. The pacing was good. Animation was okay in certain parts, and once again, I just can't believe the animation budget on Cavendish of all people. I felt like this episode all around was good. We got Rebecca's introduction. Rebecca is a really nice, good voice actor with her. I really felt like that voice actor suited her character and emphasized, I guess, the type of loneliness she's had to fill in this entire tournament in Gladiators like Coliseum. So I feel like this episode was done well. Every character that played their part in this episode, I think, portrayed it well, and we can expect a lot from the upcoming episodes with this arc. Tell me your opinions on this episode of One Piece. Did you enjoy it? Did you hate it? And what was your favorite moment about it? And what do you think about these different reveals that were actually awesome and some that weren't? Y'all wonderful day or not, wherever you live. Please stay safe. Chibi out.